do you need to know?
I need you to move like that.
Okay.
Hello everybody, welcome to another guitar channel. Another guitar channel is the channel for all those guitarists who cannot play on the instrument, but they love to turn the knobs and tweak the bridges. And here we are with the leg end, you said, yeah? Legend, I would say. Trev Wilkinson. So there is three most known British luthiers in the world. It's you, Trev Wilkinson, Patrick James Eggle and Gordon Smith.
You're very kind, thank you.
Going back in the history long time ago, how did it start? Your love, your passion for the guitar? I don't know, are you a guitar player as well?
I'm probably a bad guitar player, which is why I build and design them.
Okay. Did you start with playing?
I did. I realised very early on that I was not going to become a professional guitar player.
And then you just become like a tweaker of the guitar.
Yeah, well, I built my first guitar when I was at art college in the 60s. And then it just grew from there.
But your first guitar was the one that you built, or was one from the shop? Oh, in the 60s there was kind of problems in UK.
I built it from some parts, and I made some parts.
Okay.
It was actually a fluorescent orange plexiglass Telecaster.
Do you still have it?
I still have the body.
You still have the body?
Yeah.
All right. And how did it become? You said that you were like a crappy player, but how did it become that your guitar playing turns into, like, you know, all those, you know, bridges, humbuckers, single coils, tuners? Did you go to any school?
No. I don't think there was any schools at that time that you could have really gone to. No, I was doing guitar building and guitar repairing in Australia in the very early 80s, and that was at the time when the Floyd Rose was just starting to hit. So people were bringing guitars to me, beautiful 61, 62 Strats, and asking me to put a Floyd Rose in. And I didn't like doing it, but I was making a living, so I was butchering these beautiful old guitars because everybody wanted to be Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah, so you needed to cut like all the hole and everything,
yeah.
You know,
so this was pre fine tuning, so it was a nightmare. And I just said to myself, there's got to be a better way of doing this. And of course, that's when I invented the roller nut. And then I started to make my own vibrato by hand, installed the roller nut, and I found that actually worked and kept the guitar in tune, and it just grew from there.
So what, the era of heavy metal and of all those shredders made those people wanting, they didn't want to buy a new guitar, they just wanted to tweak it, and then you just started to do all those beautiful bridges with a special. Again,
you realise that once you've looked at the friction problem at the nut, there are still other problems in trying to keep the guitar in tune.
So when you started with the nut and you make it like rolling and the string was going smoothly, then you realise that actually on the bridge as well, yeah.
So I realised that if we could get 6 saddles, but we could lock them in place to stop them from moving. Also, it meant that we could keep it low to the plate and adjust the action with the pivots. Then this angle is shallow, and that also helps.
And was it all like coming like straight off your head, or did you have like some kind of engineers working with you, helping you out?
I kind of had to learn to become an engineer myself.
So, all right. So you self-taught because there was no schools, and then you self-taught because you needed to change everything. You like, okay, all right. Is it true that you are like a designer of Yamaha Pacifica?
No, not true at all.
Because that's the rumors going on.
Well, I've never heard that rumor. I would love to say I was, but no, I was not involved at all in the Yamaha Pacifica project.
Are there any guitars on the market that people may not know that you are like the designer of them, or help them grow? You know, like, I don't know, like you put some parts in them and they started to become like better.
Yeah, there's probably quite a few guitars that I was involved in when I was in America in the 80s and early 90s. I was working with a lot of guitar companies because they were buying my hardware.
So Washburn, for example, was one of them?
I didn't do any design work with Washburn, but I did quite a little bit with Aria.
Yeah,
but it was kept secret because I didn't want my other customers thinking that I was doing favours for other customers, and so I I would help any guitar brand if I could, if they asked me because of my hardware. And so I did a little bit with Aria.
At the moment now, for a long time, you got your own brand, Wilkinson. You're making parts. The parts are very good, and as well they are very well priced. You know, so the quality and the price factor is quite good with them. I can see them in many of the instruments in the world. Do you miss making the guitars? Do you miss putting them up all together?
Well, I still do it because because I am part of my business is still an independent design consultancy. So I have many people coming to me asking me to possibly create a brand or a new guitar design or a range of guitars, which basically means I have to build the prototype, I have to check it out, I have to test it, I have to show the customer this is what it will look like, and so I still do build quite a lot of individual one-off samples first before it goes into production.
One of the most known brands you were involved in is vintage guitars, and then Fred King, which is like the high end of the vintage instrument.
You could say that, yeah.
Fred King is not on the market anymore.
Oh yeah, Fred King is still available.
Is it still available?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking it's like the whole brand is like closed now. But the vintage guitars, those guitars you are involved in the process of building them.
No, not anymore. I gave up the consultancy about a year ago.
Okay.
But I was very proud to do what we did with vintage and with Fred King, and I'm glad to see that they're still.
But all those projects they are still using. They were in some way your projects as well, and all those innovations in Fred King.
Well, Fred King was my brand originally. I designed Fred King in 1995, and then I sold it to JHS in about 2005, I think 2006, and so. But I still was the creative director and still put design ideas into the brand and grew it from there.
Fred King is lots of innovations. You know, the different heel. You know, a little bit differences. Like even those easy lock. The tunings. You know, you can think they are the same like all the others, but they are not. You know, like one small thing changing.
I'm glad you noticed.
Are you still making some kind of innovations? Are you still making new stuff? Are you still,
as I say, I mean, obviously, I'm still innovating with hardware and pickups and in general guitar parts, and I'm still working with several companies helping them design brands and new ranges of guitars, which again you would use the same sort of design ethos as what we use for Fred King, whereby we know that our industry is really traditional, and we know that we always tend to look back a little bit, so it's kind of like the future is actually in our history, but anybody can do that copy, but what you need to do is take that character but make it a twist to bring a new guitar, a new design, if you like, not going too far away from that, because if you go too far away from that you invariably lose the guitar player. So
we are conservative.
Oh, very
That's
conservative.
Right,
very conservative.
Just change Les Paul like 1 centimeter. It's like, it's not Les Paul anymore.
Correct.
Oh my God.
It might be better.
But with that, is the modern technology making all these innovations easier than it was 20-30 years ago? So like new computers with all those possibilities of count the things and stuff like that, all those new programs.
I think that the one thing that computer controlled machinery has done for us is give us better consistency. No question of it. But then again, if you program a computer wrong, it will produce it beautifully wrong many times and very quickly. So you're still going to get all your ducks in a row. You still got to design it right, and then let the CNC machine do its work. But it will give you precision if you program it right.
Can you reveal what brands you're working with now, or is it some kind of?
No, I'm sorry. That's a secret. There's always agreements between
making?
Me and my clients. Yeah.
Okay, with your brand, with Wilkinson, with hardware, with bodies. Did you make bodies like? Is it not like a new thing that you're making all those like guitar sets? I don't think I've seen it before.
No, obviously I've always made necks and bodies when I've been building guitars, but I think the way you very rightly noticed that, you know, we make high quality hardware, but we try and do it at sensible prices. I thought this was a good opportunity to actually be able to make high quality wooden parts, so that Wilkinson kind of becomes almost a one-stop shop. And we use the same ethos, so we say, okay, you have to go through exactly the same amount of steps to make a good neck as make a bad neck. So it doesn't actually cost any more. It's just your selection of wood, the way you manage your wood, and the care you take in making it. So, but there's no reason that it should be astronomically priced, but you actually can't make it very, very cheaply either. So it's all about just offering value for money. And that's what we've done with the necks. And with the kits, you know, I mean, there's many kits on the market. They all serve their purpose. But the problem is if, you know, our listeners out there, if you think about it, a kit that maybe costs $200 is not going to result in a really, really good guitar. It's going to result in an experience. It's going to result in you putting something together that you'll be proud of. But what happens is people do that, and then they realise that the pickups they got, the bridges that they got, don't really function or sound very well. And then they go out and spend like another $500 on upgrades. And I think that's great, because they might buy my parts. The problem is you're still putting it on an instrument that is not really a guitar. It's a GLO, which is a guitar-like object. So I thought, well, if we could make a kit that actually would have all the parts in it that create a good guitar, and a guitar that when you've put it together is worthwhile building, then you have a guitar that works.
Because that's what I thought, you know. I saw your sets for the first time, like on this show today. I knew that you were making pickups, you were making bridges, you know, tuning keys and things like that. And that was something new for me. And from my viewers on Polish channel, not on this one, but on Polish channel, there's lots of demands of me building a guitar and showing how it works. We did that with my friend, because we stripped apart old Polish guitar, which was totally unplayable from the communistic era. We changed it completely. We changed the whole fingerboard. We put some cap on the top, and now it is a beautiful. I compare it to Gibson, and you can put
a lot of work.
But we put like a lot of work in it. But like I said, lots of people ask me like, oh, just buy this Chinese kit and build a guitar. I was like, no. And I said the same what you said. Like, I'm not gonna build something, spend my time for something that I know it's not gonna work anyway.
No.
And now I can see opportunity for my people.
Thank you.
You know, for something like, oh, that will be. I know your brand. I know you are good. You are a good man. You are a guru for British market, and you know, for me, you are a guru as well.
Thank you.
I was looking, and I was thinking, oh, that's the guitars that I know that they will be good if I build them up, and that's the time. We speak only English.
Ask that lady there. Kate, you have a young lady here asking you a question. Sorry, Chris.
Are you still planning any innovations with your stuff, or did you already found ultimate?
I can't stop thinking.
You can't stop thinking.
I can't stop thinking. No. I mean, if there's still a design that will improve the life of a guitar player, I'd like to think that if I can think of it, I would like to introduce it, just to make life simpler for guitarists, bassists, or people playing musical instrument. You know.
So you're still evolving.
I can't stop thinking.
Man, that's good. That's good. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Trev Wilkinson, proper legend. Cheers, man.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.